I'm Tekla Waterfield, and this is Couch Riffs Podcast.
Hey, how's it going? It's your pal, Mike Squires. This is the Couch Riffs Podcast, episode number 287. My guest this episode is Tekla Waterfield. Tekla is an awesome singer-songwriter who has lived in Seattle for some time now, 15 years or so. She happens to be married with a sometime bandmate of mine, Jeff Fielder, and they together have a new record coming out. That record is called Mother Mind, and when you get into this conversation, you will understand why. I'm really glad that Tekla felt comfortable in this setting to share her story with you here. What an absolutely unfathomable nightmare. I can only imagine the strength that it took for her and Jeff to make it through this to the other side, and I commend them, and I'm so happy for them. But let's talk about the record. The record, Mother Mind, comes out on September 5th. On the 4th, on the eve of the release, they'll be playing at the Showdown Saloon in Portland, Oregon. On the 6th, they'll be playing at the Tractor Tavern for their official hometown record release show with Carrie Ockrey and Brittany Davis also on the bill. And you will find me there. That's going to be a great night of music here in Seattle. So check out the album, check out the show. I hope that you enjoy this podcast, this conversation. You know, I've really, really enjoyed having this space for people to share their stories, and the part of me that plays a supportive role in the community has brought me an unexpected amount of joy. And so thank you for watching and listening, however you are hearing this. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Go check out the record, Mother Mind, on September 5th. Go check out the show. If you enjoy Couch Riffs, please subscribe on whatever platform you're listening. If you are interested in further supporting Couch Riffs, there's a Patreon, patreon.com/couchriffs. Any bit of help there helps. These lights, everything that makes this happen is a lot of time and money. So, thank you so much. Lastly, don't forget the golden rule. You know the golden rule, right? Treat people the way you want to be treated. Don't be a fucking asshole.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect and charming.
Slightly awkward.
Well, you know, it always
Charming,
is.
awkward.
There's a fine line.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's a fine line. Tekla, welcome to the Couch Riffs Podcast.
Thank you. Yay.
We know each other sort of peripherally.
Yeah.
Through being around town and music.
Mm-hmm.
And I, of course, will occasionally play music with your husband.
Occasionally.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, but we've never had
Yeah.
a very long conversation. It's all, hey, how you doing?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm really excited to get to know you. So.
Thank you. I'm excited to get to be in this amazing room with
Pretty
these
cool.
adorable couches.
They are, you know, these are Amazon specials.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Pretty
I would
hip
put I would put a link down below if I had any
you
kind
had the
of
sponsorship set up. Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But they've
cooler.
proven to be very. I've actually napped here before.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're pretty tall too.
Well, legs over the edge, you know. I
yeah.
could fall asleep standing up. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah. Not me. Jeff's like that too. I'll be sitting there, we're making noise, and then 5 seconds later, like sitting up like this, I'm like, nope, not me. Nope,
Right.
It needs to be dark, white noise machine,
Really?
like all the right things. Yep.
Do you think that's? I mean, I don't know. We don't need to get into sleep science. I'm happy you're here.
Me too.
Am I right? You're from Grass Valley?
Not from Grass Valley. I lived in Sacramento, which is sort of, I think isn't Grass Valley, California?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Over by Auburn.
Right. Yeah. I lived in like Orangevale, which is somewhat
okay.
in that vicinity, but went to college there, Sac State, but originally from Alaska.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. And so is Jeff.
Isn't that ironic?
Yeah.
How long were you in Alaska?
I was born there, and then we moved to California when I was in 8th grade. So, kind of most of my childhood was Alaska, and then we moved to California, and actually moved back to Anchorage for about a year when I was in high school, and then we went to Hawaii for a little while, and then I moved back to California, and just a lot of moving.
You did a lot of moving.
Mm-hmm.
I did a lot of moving.
I heard.
So I feel like perhaps we have some connection on this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Unusual upbringings, yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Did you move around a lot in Alaska?
We did. We moved on average once a year.
Child's play. once a year?
What about you?
You guys were really moving slow. You guys
yeah.
were. Oh, I went to like 13 grade schools.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's hard. I'm sorry.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. I like to think that it's done something for my ability to be social.
Yeah.
In
absolute
alien situations.
Yeah.
But that's where I wanted to head. Like once a year is a lot. Did you have to change schools?
I can't even remember how many schools we went to, but yeah, we went to school in Ketchikan, we went to school in Juneau, we went to school in Fairbanks, we went to school in Anchorage. So yeah, I mean, in Alaska, sometimes we'd move in one town and we'd stay in the same school. Like in Juneau, we moved from one like south end to the north end kind of thing, and we stayed in the same school. But and then in California, I mostly was in the same like middle school and high school, through most of the same high school. But I did go back to Alaska and did a year at a different high school, and that was really rough because like what was it? I was going into my junior year, I think. God, my memory is like, I can't believe I don't remember all this now exactly, but it was really rough because, all the kids knew each other, and you're like...
moved from California, were they calling you a flatlander and stuff?
Well, no, they mostly just ignored me, It was like, you're just like this random person and people already know who's cool and who's the jock and who's the whatever, and I didn't know what I was then. I was just like, ugh. So that was rough. But then we moved to Hawaii briefly, and the kid on the plane said, he was a white kid and he grew up in Hawaii. He was like, they beat up the white kids. They have a kill the haole day. I mean, he just scared me shitless. I was like, Mom, I don't want to go through that. I just had to like prove myself at this school, and now I have to go prove myself, that I'm a cool white kid. Like I'm not,
Sure.
a lame white kid or whatever.
or problematic to anything.
It was like, I don't want to go through that. And I had to go through that at my high school in California because it was a very mixed, like multicultural school, and white kids, there were a lot less white kids.
Right.
And there was a lot of like, that kind of like, you had to prove that you weren't a lame white kid to be cool with all the like, I don't know. That was just what it was like there. So I was like, I don't want to do that again. I want to like prove myself again. So that's when I moved out. I moved out when I was almost 16.
Moved out of your parents' house?
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, I was 15. It was before I turned 16. Moved in with my best friend in California. And long story short, she got in a fight with her mom, and we ran away. And we walked all across town, nowhere to go, and wound up staying at a friend's house for a couple days. And then her and her mom made up, and she said that I could come back, but she gave me this list of rules for me to stay with them. And I was like, I don't want to do that. So I wound up staying with this other girl for like a few months. Like we shared a bed,
Right.
and then wound up eventually landing at this other girl's house. And for a while I was in a room, but then they moved me into the garage, and I just had this like makeshift bed in the garage, and like my shelves were boxes,
Sure.
It was, and then finally after that I got my own first place with a friend. So that was, by the time I was out of that, I was finishing high school. So yeah, it was
So the last
pretty
year,
crazy.
did you finish high school like that?
Yes, yeah, it was pretty rough. I think back on it, and I'm like, I can't believe like I had like no one
Right.
really looking after me, and I had a job. Like I worked at the mall, and
What store did you work in at the mall?
I worked at Claire's.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they wanted to make me a manager, and I look back on that too, and I'm like, oh my God, I was just so, naive, and
At 17, they were like,
yeah,
"You are."
here's the key to the Claire's, and I'm like, no thanks. I just, yeah. But anyway, so.
How do you feel when you walk by a Claire's these
Oh, I'm
days? I
always
can't
like,
imagine it happens very often, but.
yeah, no, I have, I used to pierce little babies' ears when I was like, 17, 16.
Right, people get little babies' ears
Yeah,
pierced.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
wild.
When there's a baby, we had to have like two people, so we could do them at the same time. 1, 2, 3. When they're older,
Otherwise
you
they
do
would be
one
like,
and then the other. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Where did I get I think I got my ears pierced at Bedazzled.
Yeah? Okay. Fun.
That was a mall place.
Yeah, Bedazzled. I don't think I've heard of that as a mall place.
It was at the Sun Valley Mall, also in
Okay.
California.
Okay.
Well, what was it like going from Alaska, which is, even in the cities, not, I guess now that we have the internet and everything, but it's maybe a few years behind.
It was. You're very right. That's what it was like there in Alaska. We were really behind, especially before internet and all that.
Right.
We were like, I remember being a kid in Juneau, and Juneau's really small. It's still pretty small, but back then it was really small. And like the 7-Eleven or some kind of AM/PM or something opened, and it was like the big grand opening, and the radio station was promoting it.
Right.
And we went down to the grand opening of the gas station. I mean, like that's what you did.
They had
like
a Slurpee machine or whatever, right?
Whatever it was. I mean, yeah, it was very. I think the biggest change was really the like multicultural aspect of like, in small town Alaska, it was mostly either white kids or Native Alaskan. Yeah. And, there was like one black kid in the school kind of thing. And then I went from that to like an area where, it was like probably almost 50-50 black. Well, that doesn't make sense math-wise, but it was like black, Hispanic, Asian was so, coming from a very granola hippie kind of like outdoorsy upbringing to like beach style with, the flip-flops, and like I totally got made fun of because I was different, I was like, so, and I've always been the kind of, I was middle child. So I think like peacemaker, go with the flow, make everyone get along, like don't rock the boat. So I was, instead of like, fuck you, I'm going to do what I want, I was like, okay, like I'll try to fit in with these guys. And, I didn't want to get beat up. And, I mean, it was, but I think like you said, you learn how to really be in a lot of different situations with a lot of different people, because you learn how to adjust and how to like, get along. My sister was the punk rock. She was, are we okay to cuss on this? I feel like I'm cussing.
This is an adult.
Okay.
This is an adult program.
Okay. Just wanted to check, because I feel all the F-bombs like wanting to slip out, and I'm like, yeah, she was like the fuck you, she shaved her head, pierced her tongue, pierced her everything, like was the rebel, like in our family dynamic. She actually got kicked out at age 16. She moved out too. So we had, that dynamic. But anyway, I was always kind of trying to, get along with everybody. But anyway, I think I've digressed from the question you asked.
No. I mean, I think that
yeah,
we don't have to. We're not on a script.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll take a lot of side steps, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Were you playing music through any of this period of time?
No, I was always singing. I was always a singer. I didn't actually pick up a guitar until I was 27. Yep.
In school, were you in the choir? Yeah,
yes,
okay.
I was in the choir, and we did, I had a wonderful choir teacher in high school who really kind of took me under her wing. She was like, she's still my friend. She was
That's awesome.
She came out for our wedding, Jeff and my wedding. And when we go down there, we stay at her house. She's Miss Headland, Denise Headland. She's amazing. She was a mentor, and but she had a classical voice background. So she really helped all of us who were in her choir learn about vocal control and dynamics and breath support. And I basically got vocal lessons all through high school without realizing what I was getting because she was so good. Yeah, and then I wanted to continue with music after high school, but I had never had any like classes or lessons like music theory, so I got into Cal Arts in Los Angeles area, I think, with a vocal audition that my choir teacher helped me with, and I was going to study opera.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I can still sing like that somewhat, but not as much. I don't do that kind of singing really anymore. But
was that with Denise's encouragement?
Yes.
Shout out to Denise.
Yeah. Yes, but the tuition was really a lot. It was like $60,000 a year, and this was back then, so it's probably I don't even know. And my mom was going to have to sign for me to get the financial aid and all that. And my mom was like, "Just trust me. You're not going to want to leave college with this much debt under your belt. So I'm sorry, but I'm not going to sign for this," which at the time was heartbreaking for me because, that was what I really wanted to do. And so, I kind of took a meandering path to figuring out how to do music. I just was not sure. So kind of took a little time off, went to community college, got like a undergraduate degree, and wound up doing like vocal jazz ensembles in college while I majored in art, which is also one of my like interests, and thought maybe I'll teach art and somehow do music, and wound up falling into a band. That was when I lived in Sacramento, and I was singing backing vocals, and just was like, I need to sing. I need to be doing music somehow. Yeah. And the guy that wrote the songs had this Tom Waits gravelly voice. Like, his name was Brian Ballantyne. The band was Boulevard Park. And we actually moved to Seattle together. That's how I wound up here. We all jumped in a van and left everything. I was married before, left that relationship, and just, yeah.
What year is this?
That was in 2010.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was it. I was like, oh, I like discovered writing a song and then bringing it to the band. That's when I picked up guitar.
You hadn't written a song up until that.
I had written like little poems and things, but no, not really. I did start to write a song with a producer when I sang the national anthem at my high school football game.
You wrote the national anthem.
Yeah.
That's amazing. How's the mailbox money?
That'd be great. But this guy was like, "I'm a producer. You have a great voice," and we like wrote a song together. And then I never followed up because I was like scared. I was young. I was like 15, and everybody would tell me, "Oh, he's just after you for," and I was like, but. Yeah, I'm just thinking of that song. Hey boy, get it straight, because now I'm in control. I'll have you to know that I need a man who knows what he wants. It was very like Erykah Badu, like 90s, Anyway, yeah, that was fun.
That is a pitfall that men don't have to ever, rarely have to worry about. What a bummer it is that some folks are objectified and taken advantage of.
It is. I know. It is sad. There's that story that is just told so many times about the young girl with all this hope and ambition that goes to Hollywood and, winds up getting picked up by the wrong kind of person who wants to, exploit them because they're so young and innocent and naive. And so I know that people who told me that kind of thing were looking out for me, but at the same time, it was so kind of not encouraging because I really always just was very interested in being a singer, being a musician, and I just didn't ever really have any of the guidance or support to like really make that happen until much later in life when I finally just was like, okay, F this, I'm going to figure this out somehow. I'm going to get myself in there somehow.
The band was called what?
Boulevard Park.
Boulevard
Yeah.
Park.
Mhm.
And did you guys play a lot of shows in Sacramento and in the area?
We did. We kind of had a little thing. We were kind of a hot little band. There was at one point as many as 8 or 10 of us. It was like very string band, like upright bass kind of. Myself and another girl did these ooh ah harmonies, and we had some hot like house parties, and we actually toured the U.S. for 2 months, and then kind of all we moved here together, lived together. There was some drama. There was a lot of drinking.
Sure.
And then we all broke up.
Where did you guys land when you moved here?
We lived with Carla Torgerson from the Walkabouts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Is that in Fremont?
She lived in South Beacon, or no, not Beacon Hill. This is South Beacon Hill, I think. Yeah, she had this big house with all these little rental rooms, and so at one point there were 14 of us living in that house for a while. It was crazy.
Like sharing rooms,
Well,
obviously.
some of us shared, and there were a lot of rooms. She would take a big room and just like put a wall in and make it in 2 rooms. Like, so it was like a border situation. There were a ton of us living there, and she had a recording studio. That's why we went there, so we could record with her, and kind of our entrance into Seattle. And
had you guys been here to play?
We came up here. We went to Alaska to play the Southeast Alaska State Fair, and then we met her. Like, we were introduced to her by a Sacramento acquaintance, so we came to record a little bit with her. And then after that, she was like, "Come up here," and we just decided to just drive up here. And
did the Alaska thing come together because of connections that you had from?
I knew about that festival because my mom played that when I was a kid, and my sister and I sang with her on the stage as little kids, and I was like, we should try this, get in this festival. So I submitted us, and I was always a hustler, like trying to book shows. And
Your mom's a singer.
My mom's a singer, yes, and did like everything when I was a kid growing up. She did like rock bands and kind of jazz stuff. She plays primarily like a tenor guitar, I think, a small guitar. Oh. She also plays violin. She played cello when I was a kid.
Wow.
And she's an artist. And yeah, she's very, very musical. She plays music like every day. Yeah, so grew up around
do you ever play music with her?
There was a time when we were less, like, we had less responsibility. My sister didn't have kids. I didn't have a kid. And we did one show together as Waterfield. And we played at a music festival in Alaska. And I have a recording of it. And Jeff mixed it. And it's really beautiful. And I wish we could do more, but this time of life is just, it's hard because
my
sister's got 2 kids. I have a kid. And we're all in different parts of, so.
Sure.
But my mom typically sings the lower harmony. I sing the high harmony. My sister sings lead within our, so just really cool,
awesome
family harmonies. And yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys, as people do, you're all living under a roof. You're young. Mm-hmm. There's some drama, and the band it can't sustain. Mm-hmm. What do you do?
Oh.
Did you have a job?
Yeah, I mean, I waited tables forever.
Mm-hmm.
I think, we kind of all just scrambled. Like, one person in the band kind of did catering for a while. I did that too, especially in the beginning working here. I did catering because you could just work a couple shifts and make some money. And
yeah.
And so we just fell into living and working in Seattle. And it was around that same time that I started I played my first solo show. Was around that 2013. And yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being terrified, how were you feeling?
Oh, doing the solo thing?
Stepping on a stage by yourself.
I was less agile on the guitar because I was new to it. So I remember distinctly like having songs that I play now that I could barely play because I was still pretty new on the guitar. But I think I've always been motivated to be out there. So even though I've had moments of like, oh, this is awkward or hard or weird, I still feel that drive to do it. So I keep doing it, you know? But sorry, I feel like your questions are meant to be lighter and I'm like so serious.
No, it's good. No, I think it's great. Don't be afraid to go in far. Like obviously you are a self-starter. If you moved out of your house when you were 15, got a job at Claire's and didn't drop out of high school, like there's something that drives you. And I think that's great. More musicians should have that. A lot of music, I mean, I think, you know.
I definitely have felt like I've lit a lot of fires under a lot of asses to get anything going with other musicians.
It's hard.
I think that there's people that kind of like really want to do it for real, like professional. And then there's people that are like in it more for like the joy, the fun, which is great.
Absolutely.
But I've always been more my eye on the professional side. And so that band, Boulevard Park, was a fun party band, but like it was like, come on guys.
Right.
We're rehearsing now. We're not drinking
and
whiskey and, you know,
right.
That kind of thing. Yeah.
I know a lot of people who are insanely talented who are not professional musicians, right? So it's not, you know, talent isn't exclusive to being professional.
Right.
You know, we all get that advice. Like, if you want to get better, play with people who are better than you. And that's never been an issue for me. Like, I have found myself in a lot of amazing rooms by absolute good fortune, you know, and hopefully it makes me better.
Yeah.
That's yet to be proven, but
there's more to it than talent.
There's a lot to it, and drive is one. If you have both things, will look out. I think, you know.
Yeah, I think there's also like the stick-to-itiveness, the persistence, the willingness to hear no a million times and still continue to put yourself out there and
not take it personally.
That, yeah, ideally, but it's
hard.
That's hard, but yeah.
So this is a common theme that I've talked about on the podcast. Another common thing that I've talked about is when you are pouring your heart and soul into something and you see your peers, even your friends and other people getting something that you want, it's hard, right?
Yeah.
You're happy for them, but you want what they have. And it's hard to not be overcome with jealousy.
Totally. Yeah.
How do you deal with this?
I mean, yeah, I think it's come up many, many, many times. I mean, I think jealousy is one of those things that, you know, we work at, you know, if you're hopefully living your life with intention and goals and all those things, like you said, you're happy for them, but there's part of you that's like, I think when things are happening for me, like when I'm really moving and things are happening, I'm in a better place to be able to see those kind of things and be like, good for them and not get. But if I'm in a stagnant place where, you know, nothing's really happening for a month or two and I'm just like, ugh, you know, it depends on where I'm at, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's just a work in progress. Like, I think I'm not a competition type person, generally speaking. Like, I think there's room for everyone to succeed and to get what they want in the world.
I agree.
Like, and there's no one path. There's no one, like, you know, way to do it.
Of course.
So, you know, great. Let's all get what we want in life, you know? Or at least get, like, if it's like 100%, get like 75, 80%. And that's like success, you know? Like, I don't know.
How do you deal with expectation? Because expectation is a joy kill, I think.
I think that the more that I do this and the more shows that I play, the more malleable you become. Like, the more you learn to just shake it off every time. Like, if something happens, like I got to sit in with Amy Ray with Jeff at the Moore,
Right.
and I was uncomfortable because of something stupid like the shoes I wore, and then the monitor was bad because I didn't really get a sound check. I was the guest person,
Yeah.
and I didn't have a great time, but it was the Moore Theater with Amy Ray, and like it was a big moment for me. But instead of like 10 years ago, me would have freaked out because I was, newer
course.
and inexperienced, and then I've learned, like, I'm not perfect. I still have my moments, but to just be like, on to the next, like nothing's ever perfect,
Right.
and if you keep listening to that drive, you're going to keep doing those things again and again. And hopefully some of them will be amazing. And it's just not realistic for it to always be,
Ideal.
every
How
time.
was that first show?
Well, that one was amazing because I had sung with her a couple times before, but that time I got to sing a duet with her. So it was a little bit more like, I was singing the kind of the lead and she was singing the harmony with me. And that was like
Awesome.
a real, like, I felt like a real kind of nod of approval in a way.
Yeah.
Like that there's trust that I can pull that off, on that level.
That's amazing.
Which feels really good. And just like, I think things have happened really slowly for me over the years, like little by little. It's like kind of little notches that under your belt and little steps. And that was definitely one of those big ones for me that I got to do that with, growing up, my mom loved the Indigo Girls,
Right.
so it's like, it was a household name, so it's kind of amazing. Yeah.
I saw them back in the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
I ate a lot of mushrooms that day. They opened for the Grateful Dead.
Oh my goodness. Wow. That's amazing. Wow.
I often won't admit to seeing the Grateful Dead live because I'm not really a fan.
Yeah.
I just ended up at these shows, but they were awesome.
Yeah.
Not the Grateful Dead. How was your first solo show?
Back in 2013.
Yeah. How did it go? Where was it?
I was at, I think it was the Royal Room, which I now work for, doing booking.
Really?
Yeah. Full circle. And that's where I first had a conversation with Jeff, who I married.
Right.
Pretty cool. I remember it being scary and exciting.
Yeah.
I was like really nervous putting myself out there as a front person versus when I was in the band previously. I sang backing vocals, so I could always kind of step back and kind of blend in with the band instead of always having, when you're in the front person, you're like,
you feel the lights.
Yeah, I mean, you carry the show, so you better have something interesting to say, do, play, whatever. But I think, I was like, okay, this feels like what I should be doing. And then when I tried, at one point we kind of reunited, the band reunited, and I just didn't feel like I was that person anymore that wanted to do the backing vocals in that way,
Are those folks still playing around town?
No, they have all either moved away. A couple of them moved away, and a couple of them, Jarrett, the bass player, he's still a good friend, and he does a ton of stuff. He plays with, a bunch of different people. I'm trying to think who off the top of my head, and I can't say any names, but
That's all right.
yeah. And Elise, the singer, the other singer in the band, and I have been best friends ever since then. So she's moved away and come back, and she sang in my band for a while, and so we made some lasting connections, and it was important part of
Awesome.
the whole thing.
When you did that first show at the Royal Room, was it just you and a guitar? Or did you have a band?
I think when I can't remember the very first time if I played with someone else, but I think I was playing with people pretty quick right away, like people that I pulled from that circle, from Dune Butler, who now has a band called Mojo's. They've been playing for a long time. He played bass with me, and my roommate Bill played drums with me. That was kind of the first, sort of putting myself out there was like
that. But you didn't have to put yourself on stage completely
solo.
Yeah.
I don't think I did that. I really can't remember if it was me alone. I think I always was like, I wanted to be with like other musicians.
Sure.
I started playing at SeaTac in 2000. What are we? 2015, I think. So I've been playing there for like 10 years. And that's when I really was playing solo like a lot.
Right.
And really like getting a lot more guitar time, like in practice basically, because the sets were like 3 hours in the beginning, 3-hour sets, and I did not really have 3 hours of material. So
the audience turns over pretty quick.
It's true, they do.
Yeah.
But I didn't like playing the same songs over and over. So
I know a number of people who have done that.
Mm-hmm.
Will you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. Well, the idea being like, let's make the airport fun and have music while people are traveling through. And it was really like a novelty early on. Like people were like, ooh. And now it's kind of just like old hat because people have seen it and other airports are doing it now too. And but it's inside like past security. So you have to have, a badge and like go through security and be approved by the music program. And then you get to just play what you want because they trust you that you're going to, do something that's appropriate. So, it's like kind of ambiance, but you're really like, especially in the central part of the airport where the food court is and stuff, like your sound is filling like a vibe, a big space in there. And
you're playing for tips, or do they?
Yeah, they pay you a rate and then you also make tips and then you can sell whatever your merch is and they don't take any percentage of that. So I mean, average is probably maybe about the pay plus the tips these days, about $200 to play for 2 hours now. So, it's a good gig for like, kind of bringing in regular income kind of thing.
Do you take the train down there?
No.
You drive and park?
Yeah, they pay for parking. Yeah, so
you're not that far from a train stop. It wouldn't be unthinkable, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm carrying all this stuff, like the guitar and the bag with my merch and the cables and, like it's a whole thing. It would add like a lot of commute time to.
Do you go through a special security part?
It's just like employee entrance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Those are questions that, sorry.
These aren't,
it's not necessarily about like your story, but you're the first person that I've talked to where we've talked about that.
That's okay. Yeah.
Sean Crawford, I think has done it.
Yep.
And I didn't even think to talk to him about it when he was on the podcast.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that are really actively in the Seattle music scene that do it. It's just, it's a good, I know some people that tried it and didn't like it because it's, it's kind of weird because you're kind of, it's busking. Weird. You kind of have to just, you're busking. You have to just kind of get in your own zone and
have tough skin a little bit.
Have tough skin.
Right.
Yeah, but I did get some music in a couple of indie films from people that saw me play at the airport. So, and other people have met, famous people like, I'm terrible at coming up with names on the spot, but
I'm not very good.
Famous rock star people, anyway, who've had really cool interactions with people there, and
that's awesome.
It's kind of neat,
So was that your first gig at the Royal Room that you met Jeff?
No, we didn't meet until 2015. So like 5 years later. Yeah, we met I played a John Lennon tribute night at the Columbia City Theater in Columbia City.
Yeah.
And Kathy Moore was there, who I was like fangirling over, Oh my God.
She's incredible.
Yeah, I'd just gotten to like meet her and was like, we're not worthy, And then Jeff was in the audience standing with her. And then she told me later that he asked about me. He said, who's that? And then I went and looked him up, and then one thing led to another. He is originally from Alaska too. So that's why I was like, oh, I should know him. He's like a Seattle, Alaskan musician guy. And,
You guys play music together now and you have a record that's coming out. But did you guys have a relationship and then decide to work on music, or was it a musical relationship?
It was a relationship first. And Jeff in the beginning said, later, he's told me later that he was like, I want to keep this separate. Like, I want our relationship
Right.
and music to be separate, even though he kind of knew, and even then he's like, that's probably not going to happen. But because really, so early on, like, I was still kind of new at playing guitar, and he's this like shredder, and I was so intimidated, like, but we had this like romantic thing that preceded all of that. But
Sure.
I hosted an open mic back then, and he came out, and I was just like, oh. But within us being in a relationship together, I'd say it was maybe within 6 months or something that he started being like, I have some ideas about what you're doing there with those songs you're writing.
Right.
It was pretty quick. And he, in the time we've been together, has become a producer. Like, he wasn't really doing that at all before. So I kind of feel like, you're welcome, Jeff. I helped you learn how to do that.
Yeah.
But like gradually, like he would buy, some type of, I'm not a gear person at all. So like he could tell you the names of all these things, but he got more and more gear.
Sure.
And was like, let's try this and let's try that. And
I've been down to the room.
He has so much gear now.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, it was like one little, recording thing.
Interface.
Yeah. There you go.
Plug a microphone in and let's go.
Yes. So yeah, over the years, it's like become more and more like, it's become better quality. But yeah, in the beginning, it was not about that. It wasn't like, let's get together and make music. It was like, oh, we have love bubbles.
Right.
Yeah.
When did you guys get married?
It was 2018. I was like, oh my gosh, I should know that off the top of my head, but I can't remember. Life is busy. 2018. Yeah.
Have you guys always been in that same house?
No, we've moved around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once a year.
Not that much, but I'm feeling the itch, honestly. I don't know about you, but like growing up, moving around, I'm like ready to move.
You guys eventually had your beautiful daughter, who is, in my experience of being around her, pretty amazing.
Thank you.
And born probably for the microphone.
Yeah.
Right?
My gosh. She wants the microphone. Yes. She's
born for the microphone.
I think she's got a performer in her for sure, in some way or another, whatever that's going to turn into.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys encouraging her one way or the other? Or are you guys just sort of making everything available to
I
her?
think it's more like make everything available. We started putting her in baby music class. I take her there since she was like 4 months old, and it's about like, moving to the rhythm and shaking shakers, and it's very fun. It's not like she's getting lessons, but she's got already just this music, just, she responds to it. She dances, and she's really interested in dancing. She's really wants to dance.
She's clapping on the 2 and the 4.
Oh yeah, she has rhythm.
Not on the 1 and the 3.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Yes. and she has an amazing memory for words. Like, she remembers a lot of lyrics to songs like pretty quickly, and I'm just like, she's not even 3 yet. It's like, it's just in her DNA. She's just musical.
I don't know the words to my favorite songs.
I don't either. I really don't. There's a handful that I could sing, but most of them, maybe the chorus. Yeah, but she's on the new album, actually.
Really? What did she do?
Sings, yeah.
Has she climbed on any instruments yet?
Not really. We've provided her with a couple. Like, we have a little kind of toy piano thing. She's not that into it. We have a little ukulele. She's not that into it. She's also very, that age, the toddler age, it's physicality. It's moving. It's
Has she gotten on the drums?
She has. We take her downstairs sometimes when we're doing stuff, and she's like, I want to play drums. And she likes to sit and bang on the drums. We've asked her, are you interested in piano lessons? No. She's like, she really wants dance lessons. She wants to take ballet. That's what she's into. So we're going to get her going in that direction.
Awesome.
And then I think music is just going to be it's just going to be available and around and I don't want to force anything,
Right.
But Jeff really would like her to get piano lessons because that's such a good foundational, instrument that
For
you can,
everything.
yeah. So
I don't know very many musicians who were excited about piano lessons when they were a kid.
Yeah.
But most musicians I know wish they had a
Yeah.
better piano foundation.
I wish I did. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And me too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. She is also very strong-willed and opinionated. So she's definitely not one of those kids that you can like make do something unless you
Sure.
really want to like, yeah, put up a whole. She's strong. She's strong-willed. So
Okay.
we'll see about like enforcing it, but yeah, we want to try to give her the opportunity to like, yeah.
The new record will be out in September.
Mm-hmm.
Will this be the first music that you've released since she was born?
Mm-hmm.
First full-length album.
Mm-hmm.
You've
Yep.
released a single?
No. I mean, we've been releasing singles leading up to the
Yeah.
album, but I don't think I've released any. No, not since 2021. We put out 2 albums in 2021, and then it was kind of shifting gears for a while. Like we were focusing on starting a family for a while. So,
Sure.
and then had Edie, and that took some time to the newborn thing and all the stuff that I went through after that. You probably heard about some of that.
You guys were pretty open about
Yeah. I'm not a like
on
shy person.
Facebook, and it was
Yeah.
really intense to read about, and I have to imagine was terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
You feel okay talking about it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have no problem talking about it. Actually, honestly, I think it's people keep saying to me when I talk about it, "Oh, thank you for being so vulnerable." And I don't know. I think that's kind of a nice thing to say, but to me, it just doesn't feel like that. Like
I think that people don't know how else to talk about openness.
Yeah.
Because they think that being open is vulnerable or some sort of, traditionally it's some sort of weakness, of not being stoic or whatever.
I just don't, was not raised that way. I was raised by an artist, musician who's very expressive, and we talked about all of real, like, I don't know, we just were raised to be that way, I guess. So to me, it's always kind of like, okay. I was definitely not taught that it was a weakness to be vulnerable, to be open. It was more of a strength, I think, to be.
I would agree. I wasn't raised that way, but it's been the way that I've survived.
Mm-hmm. So many people say so many times that like that story helped me in some way. That story was just what I needed to hear, So
after the birth of Edie, things went super sideways for you.
Super sideways. Yeah. It was really crazy. Yeah.
What happened?
Well, I'm not exactly sure like what led to everything, but I mean, we were suddenly up all night and completely world flipped upside down. And I think Jeff and I are extremely hypersensitive people. That's what makes us artists and musicians. And, the noise was overstimulating, of the crying constantly, the lack of sleep. There were just so many factors at play that I think it just knocked us both for a loop. I started having these full body shaking episodes that we didn't know what was going on. Like I was like, oh, maybe it's blood sugar related. I got mastitis. I never know how to say that, but it's like an infection from the breast milk clogging the pores, and it was fully just one side just red and swollen, and I couldn't breastfeed. So Edie wasn't getting enough milk, and we were trying to navigate how to handle that, like how to supplement, and we really wanted her to have breast milk and not like formula. And so we were going to all these doctor's appointments, not getting sleep, overstimulated from the crying and the noise and the lack of sleep, really. So after I think she was almost was it like she was about 3 weeks old. I didn't sleep for like 5 days. I just like was having so much. What I found out later was panic attacks, those full body anxiety things where I was shaking and I would just like fall limp. I mean, it was terrifying because we did not know what was going on, and I was on these antibiotics because of the infection, and they weren't working, and we wound up in the ER twice. And the second time, I had a full blown psychotic episode where my brain just like went like snap, like I wasn't making any sense, and at the time, I thought I was having a heart attack because the panic attacks were so intense and like extreme. And, you know, I had 5 nights of no sleep. Like I just couldn't sleep because of the anxiety, whatever. And we decided the best thing was to admit me in a like a mental health in what is it called? Like day clinic, not day clinic, like you're there for however long they think you should be there. So that I could sleep, so that I could be medicated and sleep and get back to like,
Sure.
you know, so, you know, that's what happened. And I was, for 10 days, I was totally in an altered state. Like I've heard other people experience psychosis, and that's what it is. You're in an altered state where your brain is delusional and you're seeing things and
Do you
visions.
remember, did you have awareness through this experience?
Yeah, I did. I was very out of it. But I remember, you know, a lot of what I was like at one point when I was in the height of it. I remember having a whole thing where I thought the clock in the room I was staying in was God communicating to me by the beeps that were the little red lights and I kid you not. It was like a fiction, weird sci-fi movie, like what went down. It was very wild. Like
It sounds borderline psychedelic.
It was
except that
psychedelic,
without
yeah.
the fun parts.
Yes. And it wouldn't stop. So, and I had no control over like it stopping. But yeah, it was a lot. Like it was really, and then Jeff would call, you know, he taped some of the Zooms that we had and like the things I was saying. Like we haven't really ever sat down and watched it again because it would probably be really triggering to like see all that. And you know, people were on the outside thinking, is she going to come back? Is she gone? Like, you know, is this, you know, it was really terrifying for everyone, all our family. And we had a newborn at home. So my mom had to come down and my brother came down and they, you know, helped take care of Edie. And she turned a month old while I was in there. And, you know, I was in there for Thanksgiving. Like, you know, I just was not good. And then I finally hit a point where I was still not really well all the way, but I was coming back around. I'd been getting more sleep, you know, and my brain had some time to like calm down. And I was on this medication and I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. I just want to go home. I want to go home and finish healing at home. And I put my foot down and managed, they released me after 10 days. But I was still seeing things and like, you know, it was like, very.
How do you cope with that?
I mean, it was really weird for a while. And then I had like PTSD for a while where I was on medication, antipsychotics. And
when you were seeing things that weren't there in reality, could you recognize that did you have an awareness that you were seeing things that other people didn't see?
I think by the time I got out, I was very much more about, I mean, I was probably like, you know, the psychosis being like, you know, I was on the mend. Like I wasn't seeing as much. It was more like I was just messed up. My brain was totally rocked. And, you know, it wasn't as much the seeing things. It was more like, it was the PTSD aspect of it at that point. Like I would lay in bed to go to sleep and I would just relive the whole time I was in the hospital for a long time afterward. And then I would go places like Target and the lights and the noise just totally like I couldn't handle it. It was the stimulation. I don't know. My brain got messed up.
I can't handle that on a typical day.
Yeah, it's a lot. But
stay away from IKEA.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it just took a long, like I got into some counseling and she saved me. Like the therapist saved me because she helped me like because I was just like, why? Why did this happen? Like, why me? Like, I'm a positive, happy person. Like, I've
Sure.
never had anything like this happen before. I never even had a panic attack before. And she really helped me like process it and, kind of normalize it, because it does happen. This is a thing that happens. It happens about 1 in every 1,000 women have this experience, postpartum psychosis. And the depression's a lot more common,
Right.
which we hear about. But I mean, I never would have thought I would have been a candidate for even depression. I'm like, having a baby is the happiest thing. I don't understand. But you're like, your nervous system gets thrown out of whack. I mean, you're like, I couldn't tell day to night. Like, I was just, when she was a newborn and we were up all the time, like, I didn't know when was morning, when it was night. I mean, I just got, my whole regularity got rocked, off. So
I have never had, and I hope that I never will have. I hope you never have to experience that again, and I hope that nobody else does. It sounds terrifying, but I imagine that it changes you
hmm
and probably never is completely out of your thoughts.
yeah.
You wake up, it's Wednesday, and in the back of your mind, or do you have that thought like,
Mm-hmm.
that happened, which makes it possible?
Mm-hmm.
You never thought it was possible before, but now you know that it is. Does that come back to talk to you?
It comes back, but in the beginning, it came back in a bad way. It came back in like, oh my God, am I going to go back there again? Is it going to happen again? Is my
Right.
brain going to be okay? It was really hard for the first like year of just, it would come back like in a haunting way. And now I feel like I've healed and like I've had time to like process and recover, and life has normalized, and like now it's not scary. It's more like, really, it was kind of life affirming for me, because the experience that I had, while I was there, when I thought I was dying, I thought I had died, I thought I was in purgatory and that I had to prove to God that I was worth being alive. And I was told in that experience by God, even though that was probably all in my head, that I had a purpose in life, and I just, for me, it was really affirming that what I'm doing with my life and while I'm here is what I'm meant to be doing, Like, I wrote a song while I was in there, and it's on the new album. It's the first song. It's called I'm Alive, and I wrote it after I realized I was alive, because in the beginning I thought
While
I
you were in the
was in a
hospital.
coma. I thought I was not actually walking around. Like, I thought I was just in my head and I was imagining. It was a lot. But yeah, I wrote that in the hospital, and it's an a cappella. It's like a spiritual, like, it's very simple, but um, like, it was just, it was very intense. And I'm really grateful that, I think when you go through these kind of things, it makes life fuller, deeper, richer in that way, because I felt like it was near death for me. I really literally felt like, even though I wasn't actually having heart attacks, you know,
Sounds like you had a near life experience.
yeah, yeah, near life. Yeah. Yeah.
How did it feel to record that song knowing you were committing it to the album?
I mean, I felt like it was important. I felt like it needed to be, you know, I was in there singing it like while I was fully gone, like just over and over. Like, the words are just, it's about, if I'm hungry, I eat. If I'm tired, I sleep. I am alive. I am complete. Like, I had, like, I almost was saying it to myself to like get myself through that, like a little prayer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it had to be, so it just had to be. That's what it was.
Did you sing it in one of those Zoom meetings? How did or did you just remember it and you brought that home with you that way?
Yeah, I just remembered it. I wrote it down in a notebook. They had like paper and notebooks, and I'm a daily writer. I write in my journal every day. So even though I was barely stringing together a cohesive thought, I was writing while I was in there. And the thing that was really, I forgot that this happened, but the thing that was also really very spiritual for me was that I didn't remember having crossed off words in that song. And then I would look back and they were crossed off with the word written in. And in my mind, it was that God had done that through me. Like it was really intense. It was very spiritual for me. And I'm not a like religious person, but it to me felt like I was the closest to God that I've ever been during that time, you know? Yeah.
I mean,
this is a lot. Sorry.
No, I think it's amazing. I'm also not a, religious person per se. It's hard to imagine that this is just some floating petri dish and that's it. That's the beginning and end of the story for me.
Right.
I've done enough psychedelic drugs to have communed with eternity in one form or another. And so I think, there's something going on.
Yeah.
Have any of those feelings revisited you?
The sort of
bigger spiritual things.
Yeah. I mean, initially a lot. Initially I was like, yeah, God. Like I was really like I felt really, but now I've just kind of slipped back into how I was before, which I was always spiritual.
Right.
Like I really feel that there's this God-like spirit that connects us all. I don't believe in the traditional, Jesus Christ and all that, but
Bearded man.
yes, no, not so much, but I'm very, very spiritual and very, connected in that way. And, but yeah, it's not, it was more like, for me, it was just like this path that I walked down. And at the time it felt like God held my hand and like walked me through it and got me back to like myself. And then now life is sort of normal now. And it's like weird to think back that happened because it was really, really intense and very like, like you said, like almost like taking a really intense psychedelic trip, but not because it was just my brain like fucked up.
Have you met anyone else who has had this experience?
Yes, I have. It was not postpartum. It was a different, whatever caused them to go through that was a different set of circumstances. But this person had a similar, conversation with God experience when they were in psychosis. It's, if you look up psychosis, it's very common that what it winds up being is a God experience.
Right.
It's very standard for psychosis apparently, but yeah.
When I first moved to Seattle, because you hear about God told me to fill in the blank, right? In court cases, usually, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah.
And I think this person drove their car into Eddie Vedder's house in West Seattle, which led him to build like a short stone wall around his yard so that could never be repeated. That's gnarly.
Yeah.
I'm glad that
it wasn't like that. Yeah.
Because it can go a lot of ways.
It can go really bad. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I've heard of that, and actually reading about psychosis after I experienced it, that it can actually, it's rare, but it can actually cause a postpartum mother to hurt themselves or their baby because they're hearing those kind of negative things like that. Yeah, it's really sad. I mean, I'm really grateful that I didn't go there. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah.
What if it is God talking to you and through you? I mean, what the fuck do I know?
Well, we're all, I mean, if you believe in that, then everything we're doing is God.
Right.
Talking through us. Like right now, sitting here in this room is that.
Sure.
It's not as big as like, oh, I wrote the song and God told me to write it. That's just one of the many things, like,
right.
If you want to think of life that way. But for me, it was just so profound because that's what I've, that's the path of life that I'm on is, singing and writing songs. And then to feel that was my purpose felt very, incredible. Yeah.
When you hear about friends being pregnant, which surely you have had friends who have gotten pregnant since then,
Hmm.
what is do you have an initial feel, like, is there any feeling of dread that enters you?
Initially, it was really hard, like just I joined like a PEPS group where you meet with other parents with other new kids, and
Mm-hmm.
I went to one meeting with Jeff, and people shared their birth story, and I shared mine, and she was only like 3 months old, so I was really freshly, and I shared the experience, and then I just couldn't stop crying for like 2 hours afterward because it was so awful. It was like, why did this happen to me? Why me and not all those other people? Like, um, and gradually, like it's not as fresh and raw, so now when I hear about it, I just say congratulations, and if someone asks because they know my experience, I'm more than happy to like say, these are things that can happen, that, like, look out for that, and it's good to have stuff set up. Like, if we would have had a little more understanding of what was happening, it might not have gone so far off the deep end as it had.
Right.
Like, I know someone whose partner is currently pregnant and has been experiencing depression, and so we've talked a lot about, like, get like get some appointments started now, and like get some support set up so that you're going to be okay. It's just like it screws up hormones. I mean, so much stuff goes out of whack when you're making a baby, and then the like majority of people are just fine. They don't have anything happen, but it does happen to some people. Yeah. So come out to our album release show.
I feel like it is the kind of thing that makes or breaks, and I feel like it must have been a galvanizing experience for your guys' relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a silver lining,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, going through something that really intense. Yeah. And he's like, am I going to have to take care of her now? Like, like
Right.
this, you know? And I didn't, yeah, it was hard. It was hard.
I'm glad you're here. Like
Thanks.
here,
Yeah.
present.
I'm glad too. Yeah.
Outside of that I'm Alive song,
Mm-hmm.
are there a number of songs that were influenced by that experience?
Yes, there were. There's one is about anxiety attacks, which I continued to experience for a while after. That's the song called Slow Boat. And then one is about depression, which I continued to experience for a while, and it's called Sad.
How'd you come up with that?
I don't know. I'm kind of a genius. But yeah, there's the one that Edie sings on, our kiddo. I wrote when I was pregnant, which is called "Will You Remember Me," and my mom sings on it too, which is really special. And Jeff sings on it, so it's like a family thing.
That's awesome.
But yeah, there's a lot of those kind of themes of like mental health and motherhood, and the album's called Mother Mind. So
All right.
yeah. And then there's some that are like, just they fit with the vibe, but they're not really about that. It's just more about other things that happen in life, like going somewhere and meeting someone and having an experience. Like, so it's not all about that, but a lot of it has that kind of theme.
I mean, I guess you guys were pretty open about talking about it in the moment,
Yeah.
like as in real time. So maybe revisiting and committing it to the album wasn't as intense as it would have been if it felt like you were revealing something that people didn't know.
Yeah, I think, back to the whole thing about vulnerability and openness and all that, like, I think of openness as the way to heal in life versus if you shut down, you're stoic, you don't process anything, how are you going to heal? Like, how are you going to, like, grow, evolve? How are you going to,
Sure.
it's like, so for me, it's natural that all of this material was written because I write about what I'm experiencing. I have for a long time, and it's natural to like make them into a body of work. It's natural to share it. It's just for me, I'm healing. I'm healing myself, and we're healing, Jeff and I, going through all that and getting to do it together. It strengthens our bond, as a couple and as a, committed partnership and music, duo. It's not easy always, like just not just the content, but also like the actual like logistics of being in a couple, and trying to like make music together while you're, also working and raising a kid. And like, none of it's easy ever. It's hard. Like, I just want to go to bed at 10 o'clock. And Jeff's like, we got to get that vocal done or we're not going to, or it's me doing it. We got to get this vocal done or whatever. So it's, it's hard work, but it feels like something that we want to do and care about. So
I think that for the most part, the general public understands that being a musician is hard work at this point. I think. I hope so. I hope that they understand what goes into it, because when people see a band or an artist or whomever, they play a 45 to 60-minute set, they kind of think like, well, I showed up, I watched, and they did 60 minutes of work, but there was 4 hours of work leading up to that 60 minutes for them, sometimes more, just that day.
Yeah.
And there will be hours after.
Right. Yeah.
And there were countless hours leading up to it.
With the rehearsing and the
writing and
there's so much that's really unpaid time for, if you're lucky, you have a gig that actually pays you for rehearsal time and other things, But yeah, it's a lot. And from my perspective as the person that is, keeping up the website, looking for things to submit to, booking, creating the one sheet, creating the press release, trying to get, the context to get, there's so much to the business side of it that's like hours and hours of unpaid, like,
insane.
Yeah.
Are you guys self-releasing this album?
We are. It's like our own. We haven't really called it a record label yet, but Oliver Blue Studio is the name of what we're releasing it under, which is a self-funded self-release. So
I know you did at least overdubs in the studio at the house. Did Jeff track drums there also?
Yeah, pretty much everything was tracked there.
Amazing.
Yeah, except for we sent out some parts to Dan Walker, who did the organ, piano stuff at his own house, and sent it back to us. And then Sietse van Gorkum, who lives in Amsterdam, who Jeff met through the Mark Lanigan, world. He's playing some string arrangements, so he recorded those and sent them over to us. But everything else is in our home studio: drums, bass, guitar, hodgepodge of things. There's violin, there's little piano, or various things. Yeah.
It sounds great.
Thank you.
I think the what I've heard of the record sounds amazing.
You.
Jeff has turned into quite a producer.
Yes. Yeah. Quite so. Yeah.
The songs are really, really nice.
Thank you. Yeah.
You guys were recipients of the Sonic Guild. I try to give them a shout whenever possible here.
Yeah, Sonic Guild.
Because I think it's an awesome organization. Can you speak on that subject at all? Like just a little bit?
Well, I think it was like unexpected because we got the grant mid, we had the kiddo and we hadn't put any new work out since 2021, so we got it in 2023. And we got nominated I was like, oh yeah, it's a long shot because we're not, we're mostly parenting, or Jeff was, busy as he always is, but I wasn't really actively playing shows. So I totally thought we weren't going to and then we were finalists, and I was like, wow, we're finalists, so it felt like such a nod of like recognition, because years before that we had been, we were really active during the pandemic, especially when we put out our first album together as a duo, and we were doing all these live stream concerts and doing a ton of stuff. But yeah, it felt like really great just to feel like that, like recognition and appreciation and support, and and the fact that it's a amount of money that is kind of a good amount of money.
It's
and
substantial.
And they just hand it to you, and they're like, just do whatever you need to do, musician, artist, person, we trust you. That is amazing. Like, we didn't have to go through all these hoops. I've applied for grants, and it's like you need to write like 5 essays, and you need to have a budget and a plan for like who you're going to pay, and it's really complicated. So
Right.
That was amazing to be gifted that. I mean, it was amazing. Yeah.
I think that I had been on the podcast, and Ben, sort of spoke on that and said, there are countless things that go into allowing a musician to do their work.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that's having a cell phone that is paid.
Right.
And so,
for real, cell phone is a business.
Or living indoors.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Yeah. It's
like, he's like, I don't care if someone pays for their record or buys a tour bus or pays their rent for a year.
Amazing. Yeah.
So they don't have to have a job or whatever.
Yeah.
Although I don't know anyone that could pay a year of rent.
A year's worth of rent.
Yeah,
yes.
Most people
but
can
it sure
pay
helps.
3 months.
Yeah. Right. Life is crazy expensive right now. It's hard. Yeah. So
I saw that Seattle was
is it up there? I don't know.
In the top 10 most expensive cities in the world, I think.
I didn't know that. Oh gosh. Yeah.
I
believe it.
Like maybe number 5 or 6.
Yeah. Whenever I go anywhere else, like I went to Missoula to see my sister and her kids recently, and I went and got a coffee or something, and I was just like, oh, how much was all this? It was like a fraction, and you just get used to it because the prices are just going up gradually, little by little, and then you kind of forget. It's expensive. Like recently going to Safeway, I was just like, what the, like oatmeal, like $8 or something, like. But
it's
you get
a $3 item.
Yeah. You just kind of get used to it because it happens like bit by bit. But yeah, it's crazy.
I wonder if The Price is Right has done the adjustment. Like, what city are they based on?
Oh, is that still a show?
It's got to be.
That would be hard. Yeah.
Because the thing is, you don't want to guess a price over.
Yeah. That would be really hard to handle that show right now with how crazy things are. Yeah.
Someone should do a parody of The Price is Right in Seattle.
Yeah. Yeah. Nancy Guppy.
I think she would hit it out of the park.
Yeah.
You guys have a show coming up to celebrate the release of the album. And then what's the official release date?
It's the 5th, September 5th. Yeah.
And the show is the 6th?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the show is a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the show at?
The Tractor Tavern.
You didn't book yourself into your own room.
The Royal Room. I actually started working there a little bit after I think that was the time frame. But also the Tractor is like, it's where I have a lot of history there over the years, and it just feels like,
feels like the right place.
It feels like the right place. Yeah. And we're kind of ambitious with it. We're trying to fill out the room. I mean, it's kind of a lot, we only know so many people, but we're trying.
I'm sure
It'll be
show
good.
will be just fine. Talk about the bill a little.
Okay. Yeah. So it's Carrie Acri, who has a very long,
Storied.
History. I was going to say storied. Exact word. Yeah. Amazing history with Goodness and, and all the music she's put out over the years. And recently we've become kind of more like buds. Like we've been doing a few songwriter shows together. And so Carrie Acri's opening with her band, kind of that rock vibe. And then we're going to play the middle set, kind of the longest set with our full band. And then Brittany Davis is going to do the closing set with her full band, and they're, incredible. Just, that kind of funk singer-songwriter, soul, poetic kind of stuff that Brittany Davis does. And,
I love her so
Brittany
much.
has brought me to tears multiple times when I see them perform. And yeah, it's just, I think that powerful mix of a lot of like that women energy of songwriters and like front women is going to be, for me, like ideal, like in that sense of that support. We mentioned this before, but the way women get kind of treated in the music world is different. And Jeff has experienced this with me a lot, but like when it's a male heavy lineup, and the employees can be kind of generally a lot more male, and they'll just go right to Jeff, and and I get like,
right,
no, like they just kind of ignore me. Like that actually happens. And so I'm excited to have the female energy and like the goddess energy, and just really like, I love men, I love our guys, but it's a thing.
Jeff did tell me a funny story when he was walking on stage at Red Rocks, and someone on maybe the stage manager was like, "Have a good show, girls," and he was like, "Thanks."
Yeah, I mean, right.
He's one of the girls.
He's one of the girls in that scenario. That's true. That's true. It's but generally speaking, it tends to be more male oriented.
Yeah, no, of course.
So, but anyway, it's gonna be a great show. I'm really excited, and I think Carrie might sing with us. We're gonna have Brittany come, up for a song or two, and
awesome.
Yeah, so a little bit of cross pollination. Yeah.
Who is your band?
We've been playing with William Mapp on drums, and David Salonen on upright bass, and he also does great backing vocals, so we get some nice 3-part harmonies. They've been kind of our band for like, I don't know, a couple of years now, since maybe 2020 or so. They've been kind of our rhythm section guys. Yeah. They're like our guys. They just come to every rehearsal prepared. They come very prepared, not just like a little, but like they know the stuff inside and out, and they have sensibility about the way the music needs to feel, and it's the groove, it's not just slamming the drums, because it's not that kind of vibe. It's got more dynamic, like there's moments where we go there and we get loud, but it's got this like gentleness to it that they both really get.
If I've said this, I don't want to make this podcast about William, but if I've said this once, I've said it 1,000,000 times. If your drummer sucks, your band sucks. Mm-hmm. And when I saw you guys play the Sonic Guild thing, he played with someone else. He played twice that night, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Didn't he?
Yeah.
I was so impressed with him. Like I was really, really impressed with him. Even when he played quietly, mm-hmm. when the dynamics were really low, he was very audible and mm-hmm. like clear. Like it projected quietly.
Yeah,
like
totally.
It was kind
powerful.
Of like, yes.
It's true. I think maybe I take it for granted because we've gotten to play with him for a while now, but we're lucky that those guys are really good. Yeah, they're like, when I talk about that professional musician versus for fun, and just those guys, they're, in my eyes, they're professionals. They are very, all those things, reliable, like prepared, very good musicians, and a pleasure to be with, and it's perfect. So, and then Ryan Burns is going to play
great,
some of the piano, organ, keys stuff, and mm-hmm.
I love Ryan also.
Yeah, Ryan's awesome. He's a crack up.
Really fun night.
He's so funny. I remember one time, like, he's kind of that quiet guy, kind of unsuspecting. And then it might have been Andy Stoller's birthday party a couple years back. I don't remember, but he wore like a tracksuit, and he like got down on the floor and started like spinning around. What is it called?
A helicopter.
Yeah, a dance move where you spin on the floor. And I was like, what? You don't look like the kind of person that would do that. Was
he good at it, or
he was so good. He was great. Yeah.
Wow.
He's one of those quiet guys that is like underneath, he's got a lot of like, yeah, stuff.
I've never heard him play bass, but I guess he's a ripping bass player too.
I had no idea. That's awesome.
Beyond the Tractor Show on the 6th,
Mm-hmm.
what do you guys have planned for the record?
Yeah, well, we're working with, we had to really decide because it's, everything costs so much money and it's like, what are we going to focus on? And we decided to put some money toward a national radio campaign targeted toward the folk radio charts.
Awesome.
With a woman who's had, I can't remember if it's 20 years or 30 years of experience, but she's based in Nashville. And
Decades.
She was a music director at a radio station before she started doing this. And she only accepts you as a client if she thinks you can make it into the top 10 in the folk charts kind of thing. Like she's very like, so we're doing that. And that'll start right after the release. And that'll be exciting just because, when you make something, you want it. You hope when you spend time and money and effort on it and it matters, you hope people will hear it. So that'll be great. And we're focusing on, I just started submitting to some festivals like in Northern California and for next year and hoping to get, a little bit more of, movement, like not just stay in the Seattle area. Edie's a little older, but she's not in school yet. So maybe we can bring her with us. I don't know. We're going to figure that out. But, and, I'm always keeping my eye open for things to submit to, like,
Do you know the band White Horse?
I don't think so.
White Horse is a band. It's a married couple. They're Canadian.
Mm.
And sometimes two-piece, sometimes with a band.
Mm-hmm.
And they have toured. They both are in Sarah McLachlan's band.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I said her name right. Maybe I didn't. I never know.
I think you did.
But they tour with their son.
Yeah. Okay.
And have.
It's a thing.
Forever. So.
Yeah. It can happen. It's just, that's cool. I'll have to look them up. I'll have to check them out. White Horse.
It's a cool band. Yeah. They're
cool.
They have, I feel like you guys should all know each other.
Yeah. Okay.
I think.
Great. I'd love to check them out. Yeah.
I think show swaps would be in
Yeah.
order.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Yeah, I love it. But back to that, in terms of what else is coming up next, I wanted to mention we have a release show. We're playing in Portland on the 4th it's a Showdown Saloon. It's Pickathon Presents, which is great.
Where's the Showdown Saloon?
I don't know. I just happened to, somebody told me and I shot them an email and they booked us and I've never been there, but that's going to be fun. And then we're playing.
It's a part of what?
Pickathon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
awesome.
Pickathon Presents. So it's like, I think it's the organizers that also host or run that venue or, present the shows there. So I'm really excited that they said yes to us. I'm like,
awesome.
Great. And then we're going to play October 4th. We're opening for Alan Johannes at the Rabbit Box.
Awesome.
And then in December the 12th, we're opening for Alice Howe and Freebo at the Royal Room, which Alice Howe is a songwriter kind of in the indie folk Americana world, and Freebo was Bonnie Raitt's bass player back in the day, and they're like an up and coming like duo. So we're doing some fun things. Yeah, I'm excited. But
awesome.
Yeah, it would be fun if we could take Edie and figure it out and do the road thing. It's hard because she is still like, mommy, play with me, pay attention, mommy. And I'm like, I have to practice. Like getting ready to come here, she was having a little fit. Like while I was, I can't leave the house without having a little time.
Sure.
I'm a girl. So it's hard, but we can do it. We can do it.
She was at Jeff's birthday party.
Yeah.
She famously led us in Happy Birthday.
She did.
Has she seen other shows? It was the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen in my whole fucking life.
Because we talked about it, and I really wasn't sure how it was going to go. I was like, okay, we're going to go up there. Are you ready? And she just happy, like no right away. Problem. Like I didn't have to nudge her. Yeah, right. It was really sweet. We go to music all the time. I take her to shows like almost once a week, a lot. She's been going to shows since she was firstborn. So
And your guys' shows, she seen you guys perform?
she has. Like, it's gotten a little bit better. Initially, it was really rough because she just did not want me to put her down. She'd, Mama,
Right.
just, and now it's getting a little bit easier. She just came to see me play a solo set up in Edmonds in this little park like area for people just out and about, and she sang with me. She sang that song that's on the album. She sat in my lap while I strummed guitar, and
That's cute.
and then she cried, and then we have to have a friend that can help. Her godmother Tracy is our savior right now. She
Right.
is the reason we can do stuff because she loves her and is happy to go with her.
Good.
Yeah. Otherwise, I don't know how we do anything, but
Right.
yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thanks.
On, God, where do I even begin?
Life.
With the congratulations.
Congrats on life.
Congratulations on, for sure, life. I said it before. I'm happy to be having this conversation with you, that you're here.
Thank you. Me too.
I hope that anyone that has to experience something like that finds their way to the resources that can help them. And, maybe that's you. That's, maybe it's you at some point. And,
yeah.
But people are resilient.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We're stronger than we think we are,
You never know what you're capable of until you are faced with what you think you cannot do.
Right. It's true.
I think that probably at age 15, there were a lot of things that you had no idea you could do. And here you are. You're amazing.
Oh, thanks. I want to hear about your whole life story. I mean, you might not want to do it on this, but
it's really,
Jeff has told me some of it. And,
yeah. Well, I mean, there are a lot of fun bullet points. Mm-hmm. Emphasis on bullets. Yeah.
Tough guy.
Yeah, maybe some other time. Yeah. Maybe after I turn the cameras off. I've talked about some of it on podcasts, but
yeah. No, I mean, when you're hosting and interviewing, you if you talk about yourself the whole time, it might not be
a little weird.
Yeah,
yeah, it's weird. It's weird because, like yourself, talking about things is how I sort of got through them.
Yeah, awesome.
And now, as I am, it's, all those things and even those feelings are way in my rearview mirror. I see them and they're just way back on the horizon,
Yeah.
They almost are like humorous stories to me now.
Yeah.
They're it's crazy. I just thought that was normal. Pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense because, I think it's when people don't talk about it and they don't go there and they just push everything down with drugs, alcohol,
a lot of things,
everything, sex, whatever,
anything,
and just
anything
avoid
a person can be addicted to.
Then it's not like that. It's not like you can't look back and be like, oh God, I can't believe that happened, but that's crazy, and feel the way you do, which sounds like you're in a good place, good for you.
Mostly. I mean, I got people fooled.
Well, I know none of us are perfect. I mean, we all have our things,
Indeed. Take care of yourself, people. Take care. Put your own oxygen mask on first.
That's right. That's the first time you've looked in the camera this whole time.
Every once in a while, I'll do the thing, if there's a funny thing, if someone talks about a product, hey, send us some money.
You can find this couch right now on Amazon.
On Amazon. Click the link below.
What about the pillows, though? The pillows are pretty. They're vibey.
The pillows were hand-me-downs.
They're very cool.
For my studio partner's girlfriend.
That's rad.
If I think I have the details right. Yeah.
Very, very cool. Yeah.
I want to thank you again for being an open book.
Totally an open book.
And sharing your story. I want to congratulate you on the success of strength.
Oh, thank you. That's really nice.
And
I want to go, thank you, but then I'm just going to boom, boom.
And I'm really excited to hear the rest of the record and see the show.
Yay. Cool. Thank you.
Is there anything else that you want to tell people before you go?
Do you like my boots? I mean, I don't know. I don't really have anything. I think I said a lot. I'm going to talk. You don't really have to like pull stuff out of me. I'll be like, blah. So I think I've said everything. So
you're great.
Just thanks for having me.
And I'm really happy that this is, this is very often the longest conversation that I have with people, even some that I've known for 30 years.
Yeah.
So, or more.
I gotta say, this is a little bit like a therapy session. I don't know if you have ever thought of that before.
You think I should be a shrinker?
I mean, you are doing it without maybe realizing that's what you're doing, but this is like a therapy session. It really is. Like you're just, when you think about having a conversation, sometimes things will process as you're talking and you don't even realize it. And then you realize it later, like, I never even realized that until I had that conversation. So people sitting here talking with you are getting that opportunity, which is like therapy, really.
I probably was paying attention during my own therapy.
Yeah. I was going to ask if you'd had therapy, but I didn't want to go there with you just yet.
I haven't done any long-term therapy, but I've never been afraid of therapy.
Yeah. It can be really good. It can also be not great if you get
the wrong
person. Which I went through that like a brief years ago, and it was like, this is not doing anything.
Right.
But yeah. Well, thank you again for the conversation. It was lovely. I was very uncomfortable at first, and now I just feel like pretty normal, except for I fidget a lot.